This is step 2 of the 7 Steps to Heaven, which is posted at learnjazzstandards.com. If you're watching this video anywhere other than that particular website, I'd really strongly encourage you to check it out. It's put together by a friend of mine, Camden Hughes, and I have several videos posted there and different articles, and Camden's done a lot of stuff with different types of articles as well. And this is continuing on in a series. I've already demonstrated step 1. Step 2, if you don't have the document right in front of you, or you're not at the learnjazzstandards.com website where you can read it off right underneath the video, step 2 states memorize the form of the song, whether it's a blues, AABA, etc., 16-bar blues, 12-bar blues, and the chord progression. Play through the entire form using root, third, fifth patterns on the changes. Play through the form using whole notes and half notes, which are background figures, and quarter notes, which would be as in a bass line. So I'm going to try to demonstrate all of that stuff for you in this particular video. The first thing is form, and most of the time the Great American Songbook tunes, songs that are written for the musical theater, a lot of them fall into a 32-bar song form, which is usually designated as AABA or ABAB, each of those letters representing 8 measures. If you look at All the Things You Are, which is the song that I'm using as the demonstration tune on all of these particular videos, you'll find that it's actually 36 measures, so it's a little unique. And we talked about its unique kind of melodic characteristic, the way the melody is constructed, and it's highlighting the thirds of the chords and so forth. And in this case, the first 8 measures, that would be considered the A section. Some people would probably differ on the next 8 bars, whether they would call it A prime or B. I think I would probably call it B, even though it's the same melody, just sequenced a 4th higher, or 5th lower, either way you want to think of it. So the same melody, really the same melody structure that's going on there, but a different key signature. So usually as you move into a different key, they'll kind of consider that different section. So you can call it A, B, or A prime. The next 8-bar section, though, sounds completely different. Most people would refer to that as the bridge section of the tune, because it is completely new material, different harmonic material, different key signatures. And then we do return back to the original material that was in the opening section. But only for 4 measures, and then it goes on. There's kind of an additional 4 bars there, so that last phrase is really 12 measures long. This is something that younger players have to be aware of at a jam session. If you're trading 4s, it doesn't really create much of a problem, but if you're trading 8s, like with the drummer or with other players, somebody's going to have to decide whether they're going to take an entire 12 at the end or not, because this tune has that unique kind of structure to it. And that's one of the things that you want to do as you're studying these tunes and learning these tunes, is kind of seeing what makes them tick, really how they're put together melodically, harmonically, and even the structure. And in that case, 36-bar structure, which is very unique. Probably one of the reasons this tune has endured as much as it has in the jazz vocabulary and in the repertoire. So that's really becoming familiar with the form. The next sentence mentions play through the entire form using root, third, fifth patterns. These basic patterns that I usually have students do on 2-5-1s, the A minor, D7, G major, for instance. So it's 1, 3, 5, 3 on the 2 chord, 1, 5, 3, 5 on the 5 chord, and 1, 3, 5, 3, 1 again. So all the 2-5-1s in the major key. I would have a student do those in all 12 keys really before you'd go on and be able to do that through this particular tune. You should also be able to do that in the minors, which is going to be a slight alteration in that you'll have a minor 7 flat 5, so it'll be 1, 3, flat 5, 3. The 5 chord stays exactly the same. And then the 1 chord becomes minor instead of major. So that A minor 7 to D7 to G major would sound like this as a A minor 7 flat 5, D7, G minor 7. You want to make sure you're conversant in that before you can play through the entire form of the tune. And to save a little bit of time here, I'm not going to play through the entire tune doing that, but I'll give you an idea by playing through the first part of the tune. That'll be the first 8 measures. That'll be the second 8 measures with a little alteration on the F minor, which I missed. And then the bridge. So etc. You make sure you can play through the entire tune doing that. It's very important that you do the up, down, up, doing it in those same inversions like that so that you can link it together. To hear how that would work with the recording, I'm going to play this along with the same recording I used on the earlier examples, Paul Desmond and Jerry Mulligan's recording of All the Things You Are from their album in 1962 called Two of a Mind. So here we go, and as they're playing, I'll play that background figure. And one of the other things that it's mentioning here is that you should also play through the form using whole notes and half notes, and then also using quarter notes. So I'll continue through in the second chorus here behind Paul Desmond's solo, just playing almost like a background figure, like you get in a big band thing. Here's quarter note. And if you actually listen to that recording of Paul Desmond and Jerry Mulligan, Mulligan is doing that, kind of the long sustained whole notes. He does that quite a bit in those quartet settings where he only has bass and drums, where he's playing whole notes, half note patterns underneath. And so that's basically a demonstration of step 2, being able to know what the form of the tune is, to be able to play through the form using a chord pattern, and then also being able to use whole notes and half notes and an accompaniment and quarter notes as with a walking bass line.